So just a quick go over what I'm using for tackle is this is my steelhead kit. It's beads, spawn, flies, and crayfish jigs. If I can't catch them with them, then I'm not going to catch them. But also worms. So I have, this is my little trout box. There doesn't seem to be much to it. It's just a spinner and some hooks. And the reason for that is because I mostly just use a worm. And so that's all I need for this type of fishing. Basically, if you didn't know, steelhead are a species of trout. They're just giant rainbow trout. They get giant because they live in the Great Lake. They fatten up in the Great Lakes, and then they come back to spawn this time of year, and they call them steelhead. Now I just put 14-pound test fluorocarbon strand on my medium, my medium. It's a medium light rod with an ancient Ryobi reel. Now, for anybody who knows, like this reel was probably made in the 1980s. My dad gave it to me when I got out of prison. It's a good reel. It's better than a lot of the reels I buy now for 50, 60 bucks. So I use it. But honestly, this thing should be like in a display or something as a collector's item. It shouldn't be being used. But I use it, and that's what I use. So I just have a hook, and I'll float a worm. If I see steelhead on the bed, I'll just drift the worm, get ahead of them, and just kind of let it drift, natural drift right to them. I don't think they're going to be line shy. That's why I got the 14-pound test with no leader. If they are line shy, they're not going to bite anyways, because if they're line shy, it's because they've been fished. People have been pestering them and bothering them. This strand line, it's really old, I realize. My dad gave me that too, and it's probably 15 years old. So it's going to have a little line memory. It's going to be a pain in the butt. But anyways, other than that, a dozen worms, bottle of water, and my fillet knife. I even brought my sharpener. It makes a difference. These fillet knives have really soft blades, so they get dull quick. Even after filleting with just a couple of fish, they dull up. So I keep the sharpener right in my car because I'm always going to need it. And so just do like that. And that'll be that. Look, it's my car when I look over. I have two things of 10-pound test line in here. It's just sitting in my car, in the back of my car. It's my wife's car, but really it's both our cars. And it's because when I go trout fishing and I need to reline, I use 10-pound, which is heavy for trout. People are like, why do you use 10-pound test for trout? Well, I'm going after big trout. And when you hook a big trout, even if it's a 15, 17 incher, they fight really hard and they go right into the brush. That's what their instinct is, to go down into the brush, into the logs, twist around and so you gotta muscle them. As soon as you hook them, you gotta muscle them out of there, and I'm using an ultralight rod, so you don't gotta, it's like, you gotta just yank them out of there. And so, plus, the reason for the 10-pound test too, maybe even more so than that, is that I use these little thin true turn hooks. They're very thin and they don't have a lot of stoutness. I like that because when I get snagged on a twig or a branch or a log, I can just pull it and bink, it'll pop out. The hook will straighten out. Yes, it dulls your hook, but all you got to do is use your teeth and bend it back rather than have to tie your line, retie a hook every 5 minutes, because I fish in these little creeks that are, just all brush and brambles and stuff. That's where the trout live. And so I'm always getting snagged. If I had to retie every time I got snagged, I'd be spending my whole day retying. So I use these specific thin hooks that I can bend, blink. And if you have 10-pound tests, you can do that. If you only have 4-pound tests or 6-pound tests, you can't. The line will break. So that's the reason I use the heavier line. I'm using the 14-pound today for the steelhead because this is a small little creek. It's loaded with brush and brambles and logs. And if I hook one, I got to muscle them. I just got to yank them out. Just no hold barred, just pull them out. I got 14-pound test. That's a lot. I can yank hard. My rod, I got an ugly stick. By the way, that's nothing. This rod is probably 35 years old. It's an ugly stick my dad gave me. Everybody knows ugly sticks are great rods. They're not the best. They're not like super sensitive, and they're not all that great like in that regard. But they do the job and they don't break. You can bend them in half, and they have a lifetime warranty, because if you do break one, they'll give you a new one. So, not my favorite rod, but I use it because it's perfect for steelhead. Not too big, not too small. You have the old Ryobi reel, throw some 14-pound on there. Let's get at them. Let's get at them. Look at it. This is what I was dealing with on the way in here. I don't know if you can look. You see the tree in the road? Trees in the road. The whole road is like that. Look at, here comes somebody. There's somebody up there trying to come through in their car to throwing brush out of the way. Yeah, that must have been fun. I'm going in.